Don't have enough money to run a cleaning business. What happens when you go into business and you don't have enough money to run a cleaning business? We're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question and I get to help you find an answer. Now today's show is brought to us by medicalcare.com. Now, medicalcare.com has mattress encasings that are protective of sweat. There's a water barrier here. It's got bed bug and dust mite proof, and it's also great for allergy protection. Now, a few weeks ago, we did an episode on bed bugs and how you can pick up bed bugs from just about anywhere. And these folks at medicalcare.com got really excited because I was promoting mattress encasings. Well, the mattress encasings are amazing. I've been using them for about 20 years myself on beds that I've had at my house. And so if you sweat during the night, instead of that seeping into your mattress, it stops it with that protective barrier. And so if you have allergies in your house or anybody in your house has allergies, instead of dust mites settling into your mattress and then you rebreathing them every night, the mattress barriers protect that. So medicalcare.com, and I'm going to put links in the show notes so you can visit these guys out. So thanks guys for sponsoring today's show. So on to today's question, which is from a lady who has several different elements to her question. So I want to read it so that I don't miss anything and we can address those issues one by one. She says, Angela, I'm just getting started in cleaning other people's houses. I have a full-time job that pays very low, unfortunately, cleaning a building at our local university. I have a part-time job with another janitorial company that I only get about 6 hours a week with. So I'm starting to clean houses on the side with the help of a friend. I have my first client now and I want to know if I should keep this client. She calls herself a bit OCD. My first time cleaning her house was with the woman who recommended me and the client said we missed the baseboards. Hate when that happens. I will still be going back, but when she asked me what I needed for the baseboards, I told her a long-handed Swiffer. She pulled out a pole with some pad on it that I know would not work for the grooves in the baseboards. And there's no way I could dust up high with this thing. How do I tell her what items I need without making her think twice about me? She buys all of her own cleaning equipment because I don't get paid enough to bring my own with me every time. All right, so there are several issues going on here. And the first one is that you have a full-time job at a university. So that is probably, 40 hours a week. You have a part-time job with a janitorial company, which is another 6 hours a week. So before you even start your own house cleaning business to go out and help OCD customers, the challenge we have here is you're already working 46 hours a week. And by the time we add in the commute and the travel time back and forth, we're talking about 50 hours a week. So at the end of 50 hours a week, where are you finding time to start your own house cleaning company? So there's a time management issue that we need to address first and foremost. The second thing that ties into is the money. Because you said that your full-time job pays very low. And if that is the case, we need to cut back on the low-paying hours and we need to transition over where there's more money. Because right now what you're trying to do is just add more hours. And at the end of a 50-hour week, you're not going to have the energy as a house cleaner to do a thorough and a dynamic job for a customer when you're just starting out. Or ever, okay? At 50 hours a week, you're kind of maxed out in the house cleaning business. It's physical labor and it's tough. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to transition from the low-paying jobs to a higher-paying job. And you can do this by going to your full-time job and saying, hey, I would love to cut back on hours here. I have to go get another job somewhere else because I'm not making enough money to pay my bills. And then you may want to go over to the janitorial company and say, hey, do you have more hours for me? And instead of working 40 hours at this job, maybe the janitorial job will pay you more and you could transition your 40 hours over there. If that's not the case and you are moving into the residential cleaning business because you feel that is where there would be more money, then for sure, what you want to do is you want to cut back on the janitorial hours and you want to cut back at the university. Now, if you have a non-compete with the janitorial company or the university that you work with, you don't want to pick up any commercial accounts because your non-compete will prevent you from doing that. And my suggestion is to be upfront with both of your employers. Every employer understands the pain of an employee who does not have enough money to make their bills. And if the company is not in a position financially to pay you more money, they're going to have to let you go. But if you've been a great worker, and it sounds like you have been, then they have to be loyal to that, and they have to respect that, and they have to let you go. So if they don't have any more hours for you and they can't pay you any more money, they need to work with you as you exit and find your own business. And most house cleaners I found are more than kind. They will send business on their way. If you have extra business or overflow or somebody cancels or whatever, they'll send it to you if they like you and you leave with, full disclosure. All right, so having said that, there are a couple of other issues about buying your own supplies. If you don't have enough money to buy your own supplies, and I do recommend that you bring your own supplies because you've been trained with those supplies, you're familiar with those supplies, and you know what those supplies are going to do and how they're going to respond on different surfaces. So when you show up to a customer's house and they surprise you with their new chemicals or whatever, you're kind of taking a risk. And so they need to sign a waiver saying that they themselves are providing the chemicals and here's what they're expecting you to use and on what surfaces, so that it lets you off the hook if those chemicals damage one of their surfaces. All right, now a mop is not going to damage anybody's surface, but if it doesn't do a very good job, it's not going to do a very good job. That's just wasting both of your time and your customer's money. So if money is the issue, what we want to do is raise the price on the customer so that you're making enough money to buy your own supplies. And then you can go out and buy whatever you want. Now, if the customer is OCD, and it's possible because we have customers like that, that is an episode topic for another time. So we will come back and address that, but not in today's issue. What the important thing to do is today is to focus on this. You're switching jobs for a reason. What is the reason? If it's time and money, then we need to focus you into an area where you can afford your own supplies and you can afford to work the hours you need to work without the wear and tear on your body. Because there are only so many hours in a week. There are only so many physical labor manual hours that you can put in before your body just crashes. And if you just keep adding more hours at a low pay, what you're doing is you're breaking down your immune system. And your body is going to fall apart after a while, and it's going to take you a long time to recover. And so instead of doing that, we want you to take care of yourself as you go. I want you to get plenty of sleep every night and working 50 hours a week, and then starting your own business on the side is not going to help you get more rest. It's not going to help you rebuild your energy, and it's not going to serve any of your clients on any of your jobs. So the first thing you got to do is take care of you. This is a time management and a budgeting issue. So let's take care of that first. Alrighty, that's my 2 cents for today, and until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.